What's up, everybody? It's your boy Scummy Rebel here, and I know, I've been away for a little, and I'm sorry. I know how hard it must be to go on without me for a week. But I was busy. I do have a real job. I do real work. Plus, Kingdom Hearts 3 just came out, and boy, have I not been able to set it down. Yeah. So with 50 plus hours on this bad boy, I think it's time for me to talk about it. So here is my review for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Drank beer, liked beer, still like beer.
Okay, everybody. So Kingdom Hearts 3 is finally here. Now, if you're like me, you've been waiting about 13 years for this. And if not, you're probably wondering, why should you care about some Disney game in the first place? Well, this isn't Epic Mickey. Yeah, well, it was a good game though. But yes, this is very much a Disney game. Half the time. The other half, it's basically Final Fantasy. So what does this mean? Well, it means you have an awesome main story, great combat, and the cheesiest cutscenes ever imaginable. Yup, this game takes the Disney cheese up to 11, and that can be a major turnoff to some, especially those not invested in the story. So if you haven't played any Kingdom Hearts before, would I recommend this game? Well, that would depend on a few factors. 1. Your tolerance level of Disney and all things corny. 2. The ability to jump into a story and not be bothered by complete and utter confusion. And 3. Liking the sword magic style combat. If any of these things is a red flag for you, it's maybe not for you. If you think you still may be interested, you may want to pick up the story so far and... Well, never mind. So let's get into this review. So what do I think of this game?
I like it a lot.
It's Kingdom Hearts. I love this series, so to have the Dark Seeker saga finally be wrapped up was great. Amazing. Wonderful. The story is great, and even though I knew what was coming sometimes, I was still surprised by a few things that ended up happening, and even more surprised by things that didn't end up happening. But the story is great. The main story, of course. Because as you go through the Disney levels, the story then focuses more on the Disney characters. You still get a slight, brief main plot progression, and sometimes a decent bit of progression. The story in each world will either be directly from the movie, or not. But either way, those stories pale in comparison to the main story. And yes, this is indeed the conclusion. Well, to Xehanort's story, at any rate. A few things I expected conclusions for ended up being loose ends deliberately dangled in front of us right at the end, which honestly made me even more excited. This is not the last Kingdom Hearts game, and they did a great job of showing that, while also wrapping up as much of this story as possible. So, the story. It's great. Then you go to Disney World. I've never seen Tangled nor Frozen, but I do completely know the plots of those movies now. Because cutscenes. I mean, I was expecting mad cutscenes. It is Kingdom Hearts. But still, sitting through Elsa singing Let It Go is something I successfully avoided up until now. But knowing when I replay this on a no XP Kingdom Key only Proud mode run, that I'll be able to skip these cutscenes, it's a nice thought. They are quite long sometimes, but when you've been waiting for this story for years, you just tend to not care. Now, the graphics. They're great. They're crisp. They're amazing. The worlds pop so much more than they ever did before. Even when you're shown Scala ad Caelum, or whatever it's called in the beginning without any explanation, my only thought was, what the hell is this beautiful place? Then you have Olympus, which worked in past games, being as detailed as it was, but seeing Herc and Hades in this animation style is awesome. They looked great. With the other worlds that have the same animation as the movies, they fit perfectly, but something about Herc and Pirates World looking as good as they do is more impressive. The character design is also great, as are the levels. Plus, the levels are much larger. Well, they might be slightly larger, but a lot of the doorways that would load the next area are gone, so the worlds just tend to flow better than they have before. Next would be the gameplay. Now this game is on par with Kingdom Hearts 2, plus a little flow motion from Dream Drop Distance. Now this game does switch some things up from previous entries. As far as combat goes, magic is almost the same, as is standard Keyblade combat. However, instead of the drive forms from Kingdom Hearts 2, there is now Keyblade transformations. Similar, yet completely different. Now the Keyblade transformations are awesome, but I did like some of the qualities of drive forms more, but I'll get in that towards the end when I start nitpicking things. There's also the return of limit commands, or whatever they're called now, where you team up with a teammate for a powerful attack. Those are just as good as they were before, both in practicality and execution. But new to this game are the attractions. Basically, a Disney ride pops out, and you ride it. Very flashy and pretty powerful. However, the flashiness does tend to deter me from using them more often. They just seem too powerful as well. I mean, the game is relatively easy on normal mode, so they just kind of started to annoy me. But yeah, the combat is great. It does have some flaws, nitpicking, but all in all, it plays like a console Kingdom Hearts game. Now the audio. It's Kingdom Hearts. It has Disney music, which, besides Let It Go, is great. Utada Hikaru did a great job on Don't Think Twice. God, that song is beautiful. She has a beautiful voice and makes amazing music. She perfectly encapsulates what Kingdom Hearts is through music, and that is an amazing feat. I'll admit the dubstep version in the beginning is a little much, but the Kingdom Hearts intro videos are always so amazing that even Skrillex couldn't ruin it. By the way, Skrillex has an X in his name. And the voice acting was really good too. Buzz and Woody were a tiny bit off. Mike and Sully sounded perfectly for being different voice actors. Sadly, Leonard Nimoy passed away, and he was Master Xehanort, as did Christopher Lee, passing away, who voiced Ansem the Wise. Very sad, and greatly missed them both from contributing to this series. But great talents lended their voices for this, and it shows. Haley Joel Osment is back and did great. But my favorite is probably James Woods. I love Hades, love James Woods, so all around, absolutely no issues with anything to do with audio. And lastly, before I hop into the nitpicking, let's go over the collectibles, side stuff, and replayability. Now, collectibles are back in this game, obviously, with the treasure chests, ingredients for synthesis and cooking. Yeah, Square brought in the much-loved cooking and eating aspect from Final Fantasy XV. Thank God. They also added hidden Mickeys, which, being someone who enjoys a nice day at Disneyland with my special lady, I dig the hidden Mickeys. They're great. Then you have some minigames. There's the Flantastic 7, which were pretty fun to find and beat, as well as a sledding minigame and a mech suit game, which was pretty awesome. There's a dancing minigame, which was really pissing me off, but I'm nitpicking now. The only thing this game fails at in collectibles and side stuff is the lack of secret bosses. I believe there's only one, which is a little disappointing, to say the least. However, with every main Kingdom Hearts game so far, there's been a final mix that included more, if not all, of the secret bosses. And with us now being in the age of DLC, that may just be the way that we are delivered these new bosses. I feel that only one high-level optional boss isn't enough, but hopefully we see something like the Garden of Assemblage, which allowed us to battle high-level data replicas of all 13 organization members. And Sephiroth. I mean, what is Kingdom Hearts without Sephiroth? And replayability? Yeah, it's there. I mean, this game is the fun kind of grindy, and if you replay it, you can skip the unimportant cutscenes. But yeah, right when I started playing, I noticed the 0 XP ability, so you can stay at level 1 the whole game. Some people also like to play with only the Kingdom Key. There are ways to test yourself while replaying this game. I mean, the combat is super fun, so to replay it would be far from tedious. Maybe a slight bit repetitive, but if you play video games and you want to start complaining about things being repetitive, well, I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, there you have it. I took a nice deep look at the game, but honestly, if after 50 plus hours I didn't have something to talk about, I wouldn't have made a video. So take from this what you will. there's my review. But before I go ahead and drop that rating, it's time for the long-awaited nitpicking, where I jot down little things that bug me as I play. Just because I loved the game doesn't mean it didn't have any issues. And would I really be your boy Rebel if I wasn't complaining about something? Okay, this first one is not a complaint, more just a note. I have a new favorite character. Move over, Axel. Make way for Lee. Okay, yeah, it's Axel. But honestly, since Kingdom Hearts 2, Axel has been my favorite character. And you can see him, right? That's a little tiny thing of him on my backpack. Yeah. Yeah, Roxas is a close second. I have his action figure right there. There's Roxas, yeah. But Lee is just as smartassy as he was before. But this time they added this amazing bit of Lee being so self-aware to the confusing story that is this game. It worked so well, and yeah, Lee's the GOAT. Okay, nitpicking time. Keyblade transformations aren't as good as drive forms in my opinion. While I like there being more transformations than there were drives, I did like that the drive forms leveled up. They also gave you more time in the forms. They did take longer to earn, but I feel that the more time in the drive gave you more connection to it. With the Keyblade forms, they're too quick to feel connected to. Plus, the grind of leveling them up was one of my favorite parts of Kingdom Hearts 2. If the Keyblade transformations only had a bit of leveling up and you spent a little more time in them, they would be better than the drive forms. But for that reason, I like the drive forms more. There's a dancing minigame, which pissed me off. It's annoying, but it was a trophy, and I platinumed Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5, so why wouldn't I do this one too? But damn, that dancing minigame is so bad. Cooking is inconsistent. Yeah, it's doable, but a little inconsistent. Only annoying because I had to travel back to every world at least 3 times to get enough fruit from the flan. The flan challenges were fun though. Too many attraction prompts. These things are too showy and pull you out of the game for too long. Sure, you're doing damage, lots of damage, but still, I find myself hitting triangle to change my Keyblade or do a Team Link or cast Grand Magic only to have a carousel pop up right away. Square skips the animation and L1 cancels the attack, but I'm doing that way too much. I combo in the wrong direction a lot. I'll lock onto an enemy or beat an enemy, and without hitting X again, I'll do a 3-part combo finisher against a wall. I did remove the ability Combo Master, which allows you to continue comboing if you missed, but I just did that, so I'm not sure if that helps. I don't like O being glide instead of square. Having to hit O to glide makes you have to double jump before you can glide. Well, that's not true, but it feels like that. In fact, I do that quite frequently until I learned that you could hold O, circle, once, you jump, and then glide. No need to double jump. However, that was confusing. They didn't tell you that, and I spent about 10 hours thinking I had to double jump to glide. Just make it square. When synthesizing, all items are together. It doesn't separate by synthesized and not synthesized. So having to synthesize everything for a trophy could get confusing because you have to double or triple check what you've synthesized before. I just don't know why that changed. Such a small change, but worse. And lastly, a slight lack of content. Now that's just a now thing, as I'm sure we will get DLC, but I just hope that it's the type of DLC that will turn Kingdom Hearts 3 into Kingdom Hearts 3 Final Mix. The Final Mixes are where it's at, and I do believe this game will have what it needs in order to stand with Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 Final Mixes. And speaking of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, how does this game compare to them? Well, as I just kind of said, this game lacks content compared to Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. I did enjoy this game more than Kingdom Hearts 1 for sure, but I just had so much fun with Kingdom Hearts 2. I do think Kingdom Hearts 2 is a better overall game, but if you slightly ignore that Kingdom Hearts 2 is a final mix, whereas this is just the base release version of Kingdom Hearts 3, they're neck and neck. Possibly a tie. But if I had to pick one, Kingdom Hearts 2 was just slightly better, but only for reasons that, in the scheme of things, are very insignificant. 8.5. If this game gets Final Mix style DLC, it's a 9. It's a great game. I mean, I haven't even touched Black Ops 4 since this dropped. Plus, I bought Red Dead 2 and only put like 10 to 15 hours into that. It's been almost a week and I have 50 plus hours in this bad boy. It's captivating. And the cliffhangers. But anyways, that's gonna wrap this one up, folks. Let me know down below what you think about the game. Have you started playing it? Not interested? I wouldn't assume you'd still be here if you were 100% not interested in the game. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Drop a like if you did. Maybe drop a sub if you aren't already. Anyways, I've been your boy Rebel, grinding for that Ultima weapon. And until next time, peace.